Live and direct from anywhere in the world, it's The Kelley Show with Dr. Kelley Mondesiré.
Hello and welcome back to The Kelley Show, real people with real stories in real time, and welcome to the special episode wrapping up the month of May, the month of transformation and reinvention. And I have the master himself here who, after word from our sponsor, will share his many years of experience and sage advice to anyone out there who is looking to follow and live their dreams. So we'll be right back after word from our sponsor.
This portion of The Kelley Show is being brought to you by White Wolf Advisory Services. We are the bridge between nations, creating growth, commerce, and collaboration between cultures. Contact us today for more information.
And welcome back to The Kelley Show, real people with real stories in real time. And I'm Dr. Kelley Mondesiré, your host. And today I have my dear friend and buddy, Dr. Louis J. Valente, who is one of the most gifted, amazing, gregarious, talented, and brilliant individuals I have ever met. So Lou, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here today. How are you?
I'm very well, Kelley, and thank you for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure. And I have to tell our audience how we met. Around last year, I moved down to sunny South Carolina. I was on my bicycle and I see this young man walking a golden retriever. And as everyone knows, I love golden retrievers. And we stopped and I said, "May I pet your dog?" And a friendship ensued. We met at a lake in the community, and Lou told me some of his story, which I think we were there, 4 hours?
Yeah,
it was crazy, yeah. And we've had a friendship going forward. And Lou, we know you're in South Carolina now, but tell our audience where you're from originally.
I was born in Milford, Massachusetts, about 30 miles from Boston, and spent my life there. I was educated there and I practiced there.
But your family didn't have all that much money.
No, we didn't.
It was up to you for many years to do all different types of jobs to help support the family?
Yes, my brothers helped too, but I devoted myself to try to help the family, yes.
Yeah. And Lou, you are an esteemed dental surgeon and physician. You've done so much, but however, could you please describe your journey of how you became a dentist and an MD? And folks, this we have a photo up here of Lou as a little boy in your favorite sweater, yeah? And while you're telling the story, we have a JPEG of two wonderful, handsome photos of you as a young man. So let's leave these up for a while. And Lou, begin the story of how you became in the military and got yourself through Harvard Medical School. Do tell.
Where do you want me to start?
Oh, well, okay. Well, we're going to drop the photos so everybody can see you on camera. All right. So start from, how did you end up at Harvard?
Well, I graduated from high school in 1952. And for the next 7 years, I only achieved 2 years of college credits, only because I had to keep working. And so I was out of school more than I was in school. And I had a girlfriend at this point who is my wife of 66 years. And I was desperate. So just from desperation and motivation to do something, I decided to apply to dental school, but I only had 2 years of credits, not enough to even get in the front door. However, I was accepted to early admission to 4 dental schools, the 4 that I applied to. And Harvard was one of them. So I went to Harvard, and I was given a scholarship, half tuition scholarship, and they gave me money to survive,
Wow.
and they gave me monthly money. After graduation, I was awarded a Harvard Research Fellowship Award, and then I stayed on for 3 more years at Harvard doing medical research. And then after after about 5 years of doing that, I decided to go into practice because my wife was ill quite a bit and money was scarce. So I opened my first little office, no bathroom, no air conditioning, and people used to wait in the car because only 2 people could sit in my waiting room. But within 3 years, I ended up with an office with 5 operating rooms, a staff of 22 people, and I did all kinds of oral and oral facial treatments. And I used to work from 6:30 in the morning until I got home at 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And I loved every minute of it.
Wow. So where in the story does your military service come in? Because that was quite interesting.
When I graduated from high school, I was in college, but like I said, I was out more than I was in. And my brother, who was in the military, said, "Lou, you know, as soon as you're out of school, you're going to get drafted. And you should either get into National Guard or the Boston Reserve, and then you'll be sure to stay in school." There was a National Guard Army right in my town, so I joined the Army, the National Guard. And after a couple of years, I ended up making sergeant. But before that, I got kitchen detail, and I hated it. It was cold, raining, and then I was in muddy cleaning these big pans. So I had asked the company commander, "How do you get to be an officer? Does he do KPD?" He said, "No." So I said, "How do you get to?" He said, "Well, you could." There were 2 ways, and I selected one. So I ended up going to the Massachusetts Military Academy, and became a second lieutenant at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I became the first lieutenant in an infantry company. But then when I went to dental school, I transferred to a medical battalion in Boston. But because of my wife's illness, she couldn't be left alone. So I had to leave the military and when I went to dental school. But I used to work every night from 6 to 11 every night. But my wife, who's a saint and the most wonderful person, she used to come to the hospital at night. I used to work in a room in the basement of the hospital. And I used to have to take samples from burned patients and run them through a machine, but I didn't have enough time to study in between. So my wife would come to the basement of the hospital, and I would get the samples in a bag and hand it to her, and she would run it through the machines and calculate the contents of the expelled breath. So we did that for the 4 years. I was awarded a 3-year research fellowship. I stayed on as a research fellow. And then I really loved people more than monkeys and rabbits that I was using. And I decided to start a practice.
Well, that practice was very, very successful. And this is an example, people, of if you want something bad enough, you'll figure out how to make it happen. And the metamorphosis that you're talking about, going through the military and what can I do to get out of washing dishes and, you know, becoming an officer and going from an officer going to Harvard Medical School and coming out and starting a private practice. And that was a very successful practice. And people were going to put up a photo of the home that Lou and his wife Jean built in Massachusetts to show you what is possible when you have a dream and you figure out how to live your dream. And Gareth, let's put that photo up full screen of the house.
I designed it.
You designed it.
And I
Gareth, here we go. That's the photo full screen. You designed this house, Lou? This is amazing.
Yes, and I did all the landscaping. It's 3 acres.
Wow, it's a mansion. So Lou, let's get back to the story. You had this beautiful house, an incredible practice, ironically in Wellesley Hills, where a cousin of mine lived for many, many years with his 10 children. What a small world, right? But you woke up one day okay, I have to say this. I went back to school for traditional Chinese medicine at the age of 39 and a half, and I thought that was old. Okay. However, and I was the oldest one in my class. Well, I was the oldest one in my class. But you woke up one day with anxiety, as I recall, and you said, "What's wrong with me?" And tell our audience how old you were and what you decided to do to live your next dream. Do tell.
Well, I used to get up early and start seeing patients between 6:30 and 7 every morning, 5 days a week, get home 10 o'clock, and I loved it. But one morning I was getting ready to go to the office, and I had a rush of anxiety, and this lasted a couple of weeks. Every morning I'd be anxious, and I was trying to figure out why, until it came to me that I felt I needed more education. So I decided to go to medical school. So I sold my house, my practice, my building, my Cape Cod house and boats, and went off to medical school.
And how old were you?
I was 60.
60. He went back. He saw everything he had in life and went back to school to be a doctor of medicine at the age of 60. So anyone there out in the audience that thinks I'm too old, it's too late, this man is the master. You were
65 when I graduated.
And 65 when he graduated. And you started 2 different clinics. One was here in the States, and where was the other one that you started?
Well, Jean and I, my wife, we started a free clinic on Cape Cod where we provided health care and to anybody that couldn't afford it, didn't have insurance. And then there was a small island in the Caribbean that had no medical or dental care. So Jean and I went down and we found the space and developed a clinic there. I did the plumbing and some of the carpentry, and we saw patients there as well for free.
And what is the name of the island?
Saba, S-A-B-A.
Ah, Saba. Okay. And we have a photograph that we want to put up of you in the operating theater. Gareth, let's put that up so we can see the good doctor in action. There you are. And Lou, I participated in a very cutting edge dental surgery using bone marrow transplant back in the I think it was maybe 2010, 2012, something like this, with a renowned dental surgeon in Manhattan. However, and I was floored when you told me the story of what year did you perform your first dental transplant? This is amazing. What year was that?
In 1964.
1964 dental transplants were being done by this man. So
it was a young girl that needed 2 teeth, and so I removed the buds of the developing wisdom teeth and made new sockets and transplanted those, and they took and grew.
And Lou, were you the first person to think of this idea?
I don't know. I don't know everybody in the world, but it was very, very different. And I guess it was very adventurous too, because there was nothing else I could do for her.
And she lived with those transplanted teeth for the remainder of her life, right?
Yes, she visited me when she was 76 years old and had all the teeth, and all the dentists that she had along the way, none of them believed that 2 of those molars were transplants.
That's pretty cool beans. That is pretty cool beans. Now we have 2 more photos to come, but however, I asked you today to come onto my show because we're winding up the month of May, the month of incredible guests who are telling their stories of how they've transformed, reinvented themselves, but you truly are the master of it. Now, I want everyone out there who has children to show this episode to their children, because Lou, how old are you now?
90.
He's 90 years old, okay? And Lou has all these years of experience. And Lou shared with me, and I said, I gotta write this down. He shared with me his 4 pointers. And Lou, being Lou, gave this to me. And I don't need my glasses to read it. Thank you. But you have 4 pieces of advice to share with the viewers and anyone out there, young or old, who thinks, I'm too poor, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the education, I'm too old, I have children. Lou, would you please look at the camera and go through your 4 points of sage advice for anyone who or would think or believe that they can't be their dreams?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to share this. The first thing I would advise is that you need to believe, trust, and respect yourself. And secondly, you must follow your dreams because you never know where they're going to take you. And third, make your own decisions. Most often, they're going to be the best. And fourth is that people say they can't too quick. Don't say you can't. Think about it and then say you can or you'll try. And I think if you follow those, you'll get wherever you want to go.
Thank you. And I'm not kidding, folks. I'm going to be putting this, taping it up on my wall so I can see it every time I'm in front of my laptop, because, and thank you, Gareth. Gareth has put this down in the lower third for us, because even I need to remember that from time to time, and how important it is to stand up for your beliefs, live your dreams, never say I can't. And as my mother used to tell me, we were talking about my own mother this morning, my mother used to say, you can be anything you aspire to. All you have to do is just take the first step. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with that final question. Don't touch that dial.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Many Purple Hats, MPH, Vroom! Get noticed online. Stand out from the crowd. Differentiate yourself from all that white noise. Vroom!
Welcome back to the Kelley Show with my very, very special guest and friend, Dr. Louis Valente. Lou, you shared some amazing pointers of advice, sage counsel to anyone out there who would stop themselves from living their dreams. And sometimes it takes giving everything you have to reach those dreams. So we have a tradition here on the Kelley Show. If you can name one person, place, thing, or experience that you're grateful or thankful for, who or what would it be? And here she is. Tell us, who is this
She's
wonderful
my
lady?
wonderful wife of 66 years. I could never have done what I did without her there helping me make decisions.
All right, and let's give this lovely lady a name, please.
Her name is Jean Marie.
And Jean Marie, and you have how many children?
I have 3 children, 1 boy and 2 girls.
Yes, and I've met the boy. He's amazing, and the 2 girls are also grown and
Yes, my daughter's 56 and 53.
lovely. God bless. God bless. Any grandchildren yet?
Yes, I do. I have 5 grandchildren.
God bless. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And what do the grandchildren call you?
Papa,
Papa. Well, I'm still gonna call you Lou.
thank you.
You're welcome.
But you could call me anything you want. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I'll call you Dr. Lou. And well, I'll see you at the lake so I can tell you of my next great adventure. And don't forget to bring my lovely little 4-legged friend.
Oh.
And what's her name?
Bella.
Bella.
She's
Bellissima.
She's the love of my life right now.
Well, thank God for Bella, because if not for Bella, I wouldn't have met you.
Right.
So there you go. So folks, if you would like to read about the entire story of Dr. Louis J. Valente, I highly suggest. It's a great read. It's a very quick read. You can't believe what this man has done, and it's in his own words, which makes it such a flowing piece of literature. So it's available on Amazon. The QR code is there. Take a photo, read his book. He's an amazing person. And Lou, I want to thank you so much for being on the Kelley Show and sharing your story and inspiration. You are an inspiration. You inspire me to be better. And again, thank you for joining us on the Kelley Show for this special episode. And if you would like to be a guest on the Kelley Show, you can write in with your name, your contact information, a little bit about your story and why you would like to be on the Kelley Show, information here. And don't forget to subscribe today. Never miss out on an episode. Share the link with friends, family, and go back, like I said, and share this special episode with family, friends, and kids. And if you're a teacher, if you're an educator, you should share this episode with your students, because this is an inspiration of how a little boy in his favorite sweater, coming from really not much of means in education, has become such a great man and an inspiration to many of us out there. So thanks again, Gareth. Before we take it away, stay tuned for next month. Next month is going to be a stupendous month. You'll have to stay tuned to find out. So thanks, peace and love. Gareth, now you can take it away.
If you would like to be a guest on The Kelley Show, send us an email with your contact information, where in the world you are, and a brief description of the story you'd like to share today.